You're a new manager. You've made the first step from doer to leader. It's a massive challenge. It's one that we know that 40% of new managers in their first 2 years fail. Either they feel that the stress and the pressure is too much for them, or their employer feels that they don't have what it takes. I'm not a leader, but I've worked with lots of leaders. I've walked alongside a lot of leaders while they face the challenge. Most leaders try to look at leadership from the top down. Here's this group of people. How do I get them working together? And I think that's really complex. My understanding, and the reason why leaders want to talk to me, is because I understand people. As a therapist, as a happiness coach, I spent 8 years working in relationships, understanding what it takes for a couple to work together, understanding how people have happy relationships. I trained as a mediator to understand conflict. So I've worked in high conflict situations to be able to resolve those situations. And I understand what it takes to be a team. I'd like to show you the 3 keys that are critical to your success as a new manager. If we imagine a line, here's where you are now, and here's 2-3 years into the future. Either you're going to get by, you're going to be average, you're not going to lose your job, and things will just tick over. Or maybe you're going to be in that 40% camp that fail. Maybe you're going to be the next rising star who's going to thrive in their position. When I talk to managers, they really complain about 3 things. The first is that their people are difficult, they're incompetent, they're lazy, they're disengaged, they don't work well in a team, they're awkward. Most managers have the fantasy that if they could just replace 2 or 3 of their team and replace them with all-stars, that the team would be fantastic and everything would work well. In relationships, Dan Weil said that when you marry someone, you marry a set of problems. In work, when you hire someone, you hire a set of problems. Your work as a people manager now is about managing those problems. The second frustration managers have is time. There's never enough time to get everything done. There's always too much to do and too little time. And the third is resources. It can be that you feel that you're understaffed. It can be that you don't feel that you have the budget you need. You don't have access to the tools or the resources that you need. Maybe it's the bureaucracy and the organizational inflexibility that it puts too many constraints on you that you feel hamstrung. The fear that managers have is that the team will fail because I can't pull the team together. These people are so awkward. They won't work. They won't listen to me. They don't respect me. How am I going to get them to perform? Fear of time is I'm just not going to get everything done. It's too much. I've been overburdened. I've been understaffed and I've got too much that I need to do and I just can't fit it all in. And so it's a fear of not getting everything done. The third fear, I just don't have the resources. I haven't got the budget. I can't make this work. It's not having resources or access, or it's being hampered by your manager, by the organization, by the policies. Now, the dream is you have great people working together. The second dream is you feel in control. You're getting done what needs to be done. You feel on top of it, that you can switch off at the night, have a good night's sleep, you wake up in the morning, everybody knows what they're doing. The third dream is to be the up-and-coming star. When you're seen as the up-and-coming star, or when you're a key part of the network and you're seen as a safe pair of hands, people know that if they give you resources, it's used well. Suddenly, you can change organizational procedures. You can talk to the right people and get access to what you need. You can change processes. That's the dream. There's three key areas that we need to focus on. That's make people better. There are some organizations that people go into, it brings out the worst in them. And there's some environments where someone can go into and they perform like they'd never performed before. We can see people go into Manchester United at the moment, great players, they're paid top price, they're on top wages, and they go into Manchester United and something about the environment there brings out the worst in them and they become rubbish. As a team, they don't play well together. And so they end up stuck with these players that are underperforming, a team that's failing, and yet they're stuck paying out huge wages. And the complete contrast at the moment is Liverpool, where they don't necessarily get stars, but they get people that they underpay for, who've never performed so well, and suddenly they become world class, and yet when they leave, they never perform as well. Your success as a manager is to do that, is to create this place where you bring out the best in people and where you enable them as a team to perform and achieve more than they ever could anywhere else. The second area is to free up more time. We do this by knowing what we're going to focus on, by minimizing the friction. If you can minimize the friction in terms of the conflict, the relationship issues, the personality conflicts, all of that stuff, everybody knows what they're focused on, where they're going, suddenly you free up a lot more time. When people are enjoying where they are, when they want to contribute, when they're engaged, suddenly work gets done quicker and people are happy to pick up on the tasks, and it just means that we get more done. It's a clarity on what are your objectives and what are the key things that are really going to move the needle by getting them done. The last is to gain more resources. Sometimes you are going to be underfunded, you are going to be understaffed, and it's about getting the creativity to solve those problems. It's being seen to be resourceful, being known for getting a higher ROI of your team. When you're seen as someone who is resourceful, and when you're seen as someone who's resourceful and creative and productive, you tend to get more resources. When you're operating from that strong position, you're able to challenge processes. When you develop relationships in the wider network, you're able to influence more and change processes, and you're taken more seriously. So these are the 3 keys that you need to focus on in your next 2 years. In the next video, I'm going to talk about, if I was a new leader, this is the exact steps that I would take to build a team and help it to thrive.